Haley, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me today. Straight off the bat, what was it about your characters that really attracted you to want to play these roles?
For me, the character of Ender, one of the things which was really interesting for me is how often in adventure science fiction films the hero, so to say, is pretty sort of gold covered. He's sort of celebrated and there's nothing bad about him. In this film, Ender isn't perfect. So he has got this dark side, and I was talking with Gavin, the director, a lot about it, and I had a lot of fun experimenting with it and bringing it to life.
And Haley?
I would say I love that my character is very, she has a lot of strength and she's very independent, and given the situation that she's put in, she has to handle herself in a way that I think is very mature and very intelligent, and I love that about her.
I love that as well.
Thank you.
Your characters had a really nice chemistry going on. It wasn't necessarily romantic, it wasn't necessarily just platonic. Did you have a lot of time to work on that before film began?
I think a lot of it came through from our own sort of personal friendship. We spent a few weeks before we started filming where we were able to sort of get to know each other and spend time together. And I think we both sort of love that our characters don't necessarily, fall in love or they're not in a relationship. They meet each other at a time that they're just looking for a friend, and they find it within each other. I think that's awesome.
That was one of my favourite parts of the film for me.
Cool.
Asa, you've done an adaptation of Hugo, and Haley, you've got Romeo and Juliet coming up.
Yeah.
So you're both now into like big movie adaptations. When it comes to that kind of stuff, do you read the source material first, or do you just work solely from the script?
For me, I know a lot of actors don't enjoy reading the source material, but for me, I find it as an invaluable source of information and ideas and clues, because obviously the amount of detail that goes into a novel can never be the same in the script. The content can be the same, but the detail will never compare, and having all of that information, all of that background is, it's so useful when building your character.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Most of the films that I've done have been adaptations, and I love that it's like, again, an extra couple hundred pages of reference and answers to questions. Yeah, I think that's an interesting thing about what that is.
The zero-G stuff in this film looked particularly cool, and it looked effortless, which usually means that it was quite tough to do.
Which means it wasn't.
Yeah.
Can you talk me through what it was like just on a daily basis, just working on that?
Yeah, it was, the training for it was...
It's hard work.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it. We had about, I think, throughout the whole film, we were constantly being trained and pushed. And not only was it Y work, but we learned how to march. We had a whole boot camp with all of us and 100 extras marching down this hallway. If one person messed up, that was it.
Yeah.
Down on the floor, 20 push-ups. Everyone.
Wow.
It was hard work, but we had so much fun. And we're working with people from Cirque du Soleil, so we could try and replicate zero-G as realistically as possible.
Yeah, they... when they were demonstrating it for us, we were like, oh, awesome, it looks effortless, it's great. And we get up there and we're like, how do you do this?
Couldn't even stay upright.
Couldn't even stay upright. But no, they made it real easy for us. Not really, but kind of.
Hey, so you've worked with Sir Ben Kingsley before, and you both worked with like Indiana Jones, Han Solo on this movie. What was it like to walk on the set and come face to face with a legend like that?
I don't think, even now, I don't think we can quite picture it. Harrison was such an idol when I was a little kid. I was a massive fan of Star Wars. I still am, and to be able to work with him at such a young age, I think we've both been so privileged, and we had such great experience. He's one of the actors which really make you feel comfortable and really brings the best out of you.
Haley, what first reactions when you seen Harrison on set?
It's always so nerve-wracking because you never really know how they're going to approach it, because you don't know if they're going to sort of take the same approach as their character would, if they're going to be a little distant. You don't know how it's going to play out, so it's always a little nerve-wracking. But Harrison was so great with all of us, and so kind and so patient, and like Asa said, really brought the best out of us.
Fantastic. Asa and Haley, thank you very much for taking the time to
Thank
talk to me
you.
today.
Thank you.